Shalom, Yasharala. This is your brother Dawada from GMS Tampa Bay #07, coming at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that have taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you. I can pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. Alright, we're going to jump into this here quick little lesson. I'm going to read this here news article. It's actually about 2 weeks old now, but I've been trying to push this here article out for the longest. But hey, Satan don't like to be exposed. I'll just put it at that. So we're going to just jump right into it because it's a pretty lengthy article. And if we have a little bit of time at the end, we'll jump into a couple of scriptures. All right, this is a news article from RT published on June 21st, 2018. It says Trump's military drops a bomb every 12 minutes and nobody's talking about it. All right. It says we live in a state of perpetual war and we never feel it. While you get your gelato at the hip place where they put those cute little mint leaves on the side, someone is being bombed in your name. While you argue with the 17-year-old at the movie theater who gave you a small popcorn when you ordered a large, someone is being obliterated in your name. While we sleep and eat and make love and shield our eyes on a sunny day, someone's home, family, life, and body are being blown into thousands of pieces in our name. Once every 12 minutes, all right? Real quickly, going through here, now this guy's going to use a lot of sarcasm in this, because you got to kind of use sarcasm when writing an article like this, and, I'll try to hold back my spirit while reading this article because, it's a lot of, man, it's just the damn devil showing himself in this, but nevertheless, showing, the minds of these American people here, it says like, while you argue with a 17-year-old at the movie theater who gave you a small popcorn instead of a large, and, while you get your little gelato at the hip place, you know what I'm saying? And all these different things, like especially arguing with a 17-year-old, that's a young, not even a young child, it's a young adult, more or less, but they're not fully responsible and more or less it's his first job. And you a grown ass adult. Why are you arguing with a little child? You arguing over simple shit, right? But why aren't you arguing about something big like this? A bomb dropped every 12 minutes. That's something to argue about. That's something to speak about, but instead what you doing, you over here arguing over your popcorn that, the guy made a mistake on, or you over here at your little coffee shop or whatnot, just in a bunch of folly, your conversation is just full of a bunch of folly and bullshit, you're not really into anything deep, or anything that actually, holds weight, like this article here, somebody or a bomb being dropped every 12 minutes, that's something that the whole world we should just stop, take a moment and address this, like, yo, look at what this devil is doing. And just think about that. Instead of everybody arguing about, who's going to the playoffs or whatever sporting event is going on, who's on this team or that team or who's going here or there or who won the World Cup or whatever. Instead of arguing about all those things or debating or conversating and talking about all those things, there's a lot more deeper things to talk about, but the majority of these Americans here are, they blinded, It says, the United States military drops an explosive with the strength you can hardly comprehend once every 12 minutes. That's odd because we're technically at war with, let me think, 0 countries. So that should mean 0 bombs being dropped, right? Hell no, you made the common mistake of confusing our world with some sort of rational, cognate world in which our military industrial complex is under control. The music industry is based on merit and talent. Legos have gently rounded edges, so when you step on them barefoot, it doesn't feel like an armor-piercing bullet just shot straight up your spine. And human beings are dealing with climate change like adults rather than burying their heads in the sand trying to convince themselves that the sand around our heads isn't getting really, really hot, So, like, homeboy, is using a lot of sarcasm here. He's like, look, we technically at war with, 0 countries, so that should mean we bombing in, 0 countries, right? And yeah, in a regular-ass world, let me read this line. It says, you're thinking of a rational world. We don't live there. Instead of thinking that you're living in a rational world where, okay, if you like, how Jake talk, well, we got beef with them, oh, we got beef with them niggas on that side over there. Okay, well, you would expect, confrontation to pop off with the people you got beef with, but the people you at peace with, you wouldn't be like, all right, well, we at peace with them. They're my homies. Those are our allies, but just you still over there bombing them. Now in this situation, in these places where they're so-called bombing, they're not a so-called public ally. But what's going on here is basically, Esau has this old mob tactic. You hear about the mob that'll so-called offer you protection for your establishment. And if you understand the trick about that old mob trick, it's like, yo, the mob, like before, nobody's breaking into your store, nobody's vandalizing your store, doing nothing to your store. But the mob sees, you in business, they want a piece of your cut. They want to tax you, but they don't want to do none of the work. So what do? They come in, they'll send in some of their henchmen to come into the store, rough up your store, rob your store, do all kind of stuff here and there till you get tired of it, And then you send another person on around like, hey, we can offer you some protection, so your store don't keep getting robbed and so on and so forth, you lose about, you lose about, let's say $5,000 a week, all you got to do is pay us about $2,500 a week. So you get to keep, $2,500 out of that, and we'll protect your store, and you as the mob, you're not really protecting the store because why? You the one that's more or less, harassing the store owner, or you the one, perpetuating crimes at the store. So all you got to do is just stop going over there and fucking up the store, and you just getting free money, So same way with America, how they roll, what they do, they go over into your country, drop off ISIS or whatever, drop off terrorists, have some kind of issue over in your area where, America wants to go over there and so-called sort it out, whether it's, this guy has weapons of mass destruction, we got to go get rid of that. Or, this guy is oppressing his people, we got to go get rid of him. This guy is, there's a civil war in this guy's country. We got to go and, protect the people from the government and their military, from coming down on the people, And it's ironic, the hypocrisy of that. That's what America's planning with their martial law here, But America wouldn't allow any other country to come in and stand up for the so-called civilians here versus the American military in a conflict, where there's a so-called civil war, But nevertheless, this is how America get down. They go through and do all these different things in other countries, like you see in Syria, Oh, well, they, civil war conflict, and now they got terrorists over there. We're not at war with Syria, in the government. We want to help them out and eradicate the terrorists from the area and restore peace among the citizens, That's what they say, But then, they also slip in there, well, Bashar al-Assad's not that great of a leader, so we want regime change, So it's like that old mob tactic. They go in there and do something to your country to where they have to go in there to so-called solve the problem, It says, but like I said, like the article was saying, you think in a rational world, In a rational world, really, in a rational world, America wouldn't need to go into, like, let's say Syria does have a terrorist problem, all right? And terrorists is fucking up Syria. Well, if the Syrian government ain't doing nothing about it, or... if the Syrian government ain't being held hostage, all right, by the damn terrorists, then there ain't no need for no other country to go in and intervene in there. That's their own internal conflict, And really, what the hell is a real terrorist for real? Like, you got to give me some how do you say some points? You know what I'm saying? Where I could just be like, okay, if you meet all these here points, then you got a goddamn terrorist, according to y'all. Because here in America, you technically have the same problem that these people are claiming that, like ISIS, for all the things ISIS do, like, they roll around and they all black, raising up their flag, taking over territories, and so-called oppressing and terrorizing the local citizens where they at and all this and that. This is what they claiming that these terrorists is doing, And I'm like, okay, well, and that justifies you going into their country and blowing up their shit, a random nation, stepping inside of a sovereign nation, to go in here and police their area, Well, if that's the case, look here at America, You you have the so-called Crips and the Bloods, or any of these street gangs. You pretty much, you understand what these street gangs are. The same thing. They go around somewhat terrorizing people, If you a Crip, most of the time on a surface level, the Crips be battling it out with the Bloods. Well, we know a little deeper than that, they be battling it out with each other. But nevertheless, I mean, from the outside source, you could say the same thing. You got a group of people, instead of ISIS with their black flags and black masks and their little outfits that you could tell, you got the Crips and the Bloods. They be red and blue and so on and so forth. They be coming together, taking over territory. They be having guns and shit. They be, what I'm saying? That type of shit. So why don't America try to fix their problem here first before going to another country? And what if Russia started bombing every city who had Crips and Bloods in there? All right. Or who started bombing any of these cities who had, these so-called white people who's going around shooting up all the damn schools and shit. America wouldn't take that. They'd be like, oh, hell no, let us solve our own problem. We're a sovereign nation. Stay up out of our business. But yet the hypocrisy of America, look at them. They all over in the rest of the world, bombing the hell out of them for what reason? Why? Because they want to just steal their resources and dominate on everybody, all right? It says, you think we live in a rational world. We don't live there. Instead, we live in a world where the Pentagon is completely and utterly out of control. A few weeks ago, I wrote about the 21 trillion. That's not a typo. That's gone unaccounted for in the Pentagon, which eerily shadows, that deficit rate that most people know about. It's like 21, 22 trillion dollars, It says, but I didn't get into the numbers of bombs that ridiculous amount of money buys us. President Bush military dropped 70,000 bombs on 5 countries. But of that outrageous number, only 57 of those bombs really upset the international community. Because there were 57 strikes in Pakistan, Somalia, and Yemen, countries the U.S. was neither at war with nor had ongoing conflicts with. All right. So, only not even really a percent, of the bombs that was dropped actually pissed anybody off in the international community. It didn't even raise an eyebrow, raise a flag, like, whoa, wait a minute, what are y'all over there doing? Y'all like just killing indiscriminately, And if anything, if that's the case, basically what y'all doing is y'all justifying this damn wickedness, You see and you know what the hell's going on, but yet you just like, oh, we don't give a fuck, Keep going on what you doing, If that was any other type of thing going on here in America, you would call them so-called an accomplice or something like that, If you sit by and watch somebody commit a crime and you don't do nothing about it, they have basically like a law against that. You see somebody stealing some shit, they robbing and shit, you know who it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, that was that nigga, I wasn't dealing with it, but you ain't stop him. You know what was going on, you didn't say nothing about it, It says, because there were 57 strikes in Pakistan, Somalia, and Yemen, countries the U.S. was neither at war with nor had ongoing conflicts with, and the world was kind of horrified. There was a lot of talk that went something like, wait a second, we're bombing in countries outside of war zones? Is it possible that's a slippery slope ending in us just bombing all the goddamn time? Awkward pause. All right, that's just like a rhetorical question, That's like, yo, you don't really want to answer that question, That's like some real simple shit, And one of my previous covers of this video, I wound up using the analogy, of how stupid this is. It's like I'm the football coach and you on the football team, right? And I'm telling you, look, we're gonna run this here play, and I tell you, cut off to the left and just run the ball up the left side of the field, You'll be like, well, how far to the left do you want me to go? Well, I don't want you to go out of bounds. The whole game is played in bounds. If you go out of bounds, we're not really technically playing no more, That is basically like a dead ball, You can be on, or like, let's say you playing basketball, right? You on the outer boundaries, and you in the out of bounds area, and you sit there and you make a shot. You think that shit's gonna count for anything? No, it's not gonna count for nothing because that's not the so-called play area, the game area, So for a player to sit there and ask the coach, where do you want me to execute this here play at? The obviousness of it is we want you to do it in bounds. That should never have to be explained, because the whole game is played in these boundaries, Now there's a thing, like you understand, like if you accidentally slip up and your foot slips out of bounds, that's a dead play. That ends the whole play, But you would never think in your mind, all right, we're gonna start the play out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? And then proceed to think that that's gonna, convert into a play, It's not gonna work out like that. People will look at you like you dumb as hell, The coach will be like, yo, what the hell is wrong with you? Every time I give you the ball, you run straight out of bounds, and that's just it, That's not where we're playing at, So basically here it says like, look, wait a second, we're bombing we're bombing in countries outside of war zones, all right? And countries where you at peace with, or so-called peace with, or you don't have a conflict with these people, It's like, yo, we don't have any conflict, an ongoing conflict with so-called with Mexico, There's no military conflicts going on between America and Mexico, So it wouldn't seem right that we start bombing in Mexico. Like, well, why would you do that if you ain't really at war with them? Like, y'all ain't even got no beef. Like, what's the point, But nevertheless, hey, that's what's going on. It says, now, whichever president follows Bush will be a normal adult person with a functional brain stems and some sort, and therefore will stop this madness. We're so cute and naive. We were so cute and naive back then, like when kittens first wake up in the morning. The Justice of Investigative Journalism, the Bureau of Investigative Slovakia. Okay, we good. It says the Bureau of Investigative Journalism reported that under President Barack Obama, there were 563 strikes, largely by drones that targeted Pakistan, Somalia, and Yemen. It's not just the fact that bombing outside of a war zone is a horrific violation of international law and global norms. It's morally reprehensible target. Hold on, Slovakia. Before I get there, it's not just the fact that bombing outside of a war zone is a horrific violation of international law. All right. Now, who created these international laws? That would be Esau. All right. Now, who enforces these international laws? That would be Esau. Now, who's breaking these international laws? That would be Esau. All right. He makes everybody else, follow under the guidelines of the laws that he set, but yet he don't follow his own shit. He breaks all the covenants that he make, man. That's just in his spirit. It's not just the fact that bombing outside of a war zone country is a horrific violation of international law and global norms. It is also the morally reprehensible targeting of people for pre-crime, which is what we're doing and what Tom Cruise movie Minority Report warned us about. Okay, it says humans are very bad at taking advice from sci-fi dystopias. If we listened in 1984, we would not have allowed the existence of the National Security Agency. If we listened to Terminator, we wouldn't have allowed the existence of drone warfare. If we listened to The Matrix, we would not have allowed the vast majority of humans to get lost in virtual reality of spectacle and vapid nonsense while the oceans die in a swamp of plastic waste. But who's counting? All right, now let me go back up here to the top because they touch on this here pre-crime, And when you really understand Esau and what Esau's got going on, he basically everybody's a criminal, all right? If you're not an Edomite, let alone a top of the line Edomite, an elite of the Edomites, your ass is a criminal comparably to him, all right? Because if you're not a top of the line Edomite, let's say you're a regular Edomite, right? And you're not a top of the line Edomite. You see them already on YouTube and shit like that, right? The ones that be exposing the international bankers, talking about the shadow government and this and that. These motherfuckers is not on the same, they still Edomites, all right? But from the elite's perspective and from their perspective, they're not on the same team, So the elites is like, well, these motherfuckers they don't understand what's going on. They basically useless eaters too, man. We got robots and they not on our level. They not part of the elites. Fuck them. Same way with Israel, you got the 1/3 and the elect, and then you got the 2/3, Yeah, we all Israelites, but really 2/3, y'all, hey, they just gonna have to die and learn on this side, Same way with how Esau's treating half his the majority of his people, The majority of these Edomites, like I said, this is only really for the elites, And if you're not an elite, you basically a criminal or you against them. So what is their plan? Go over to the Georgia Guidestones. They want to maintain a population under 500 million. All right, which is a half of 1 billion. All right, there's currently about 7 billion people on the planet Earth, probably closer to 8 billion now. All right, but let's just say 7 billion, a flat 7 billion. If you want to bring the world's population down to 500 million, which is half of 1 billion, all right, that means you got to kill off and eliminate 6.5 billion people. All right, now you can go back to Bill Gates. Bill Gates made it a statement, not a statement. He made a speech about global emissions and stuff like that and bringing it down to zero. And what he showed was a formula. And what he was doing in the formula was basically subtracting the human beings. All right, that's what that was where he decided to cut it, was the human beings. All right, and he said if we do a real good job with this, with the vaccines, which he was talking about, we could drastically slow that number down and bring it down a lot lower, And what does he mean by that? The population. You can bring down the population and slow it down by, implementing these vaccines. Well, what the hell does that mean? When you give these people these vaccines, they're going to wind up not producing, becoming fertile. They're going to die off faster from diseases and stuff like that, So it's population control, population reduction, And the same with Trump, or not Trump, but these Edomites just bombing indiscriminately, all over the damn planet Earth, Oh, they terrorists, whatever, whatnot, All they doing is just, how do you say, bringing down the global population, and they coming up with some kind of bullshit ass stories to cover up every damn thing, It says, but going into these here movies, with the pre-crime, that's dealing with, like I said, if you're not an Edomite, a top of the line elite Edomite, you an enemy compared, in their minds, and because you always have a threat. They always, you always a threat of trying to overthrow them, overthrow the system, not being a good slave to them. So what do they want to do? They want to implement this RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, for what? To read your mind and stuff like that. Look at Barack Obama's 2010 Brain Initiative program talking about Alzheimer's. You lose your memory and stuff like that. Oh yeah, we can give you a new memory. We can make you think whatever, you thought you had, Basically, they trying to, well, they already have a way of downloading your whole brain and everything like that, But nevertheless, this pre-crime, they want to chip your ass, microchip, mark of the beast, all right? And with all these movies that Homeboy is dropping over here is basically showing you the New World Order system, all right? So you have the mark of the beast with this pre-crime deal. This is 1984 allows the existence of National Security Agency. We would not have allowed the National Security Agency, all right? Now, if you've seen that movie or parts of that movie, they had basically like the NSA, like they saying, Big Brother sitting over here watching over everybody, spying on all your phone calls, your text messages, your emails, what you're searching on the computer, you know what I'm saying? So you can't ever come up on top of them, even on the smallest, minute amount of information, information is key, is power, if let's say you have two groups of people, you got the in group and then the out group, we the in group, we don't want everybody else to be in the out group, right? So, as simple as this, like when you're on your job, right? One of the reasons they tell you not to ask or talk about people's pay rate is because if you realize you're getting paid way less than everybody else, especially people that's doing way less work than you, you'll be mad, then you'll be begging for a damn raise. Whenever you ask for a raise, more or less sometimes they'll give you one, But if you never complain and ask about nothing else, you think you're getting paid good, they ain't gonna never pay you no more. All right? So, this is a so-called threat to Esau. So if you're the business owner, that means you got to come out of more of your pocket if everybody know what everybody getting paid. So I got this business, right? And I want to pay everybody, at first I'm starting out by paying everybody $20 an hour just to get people in the door and get everything set up and running and get everybody trained and so on and so forth, Then I wind up letting one person go. You know what I'm saying? Now I hire two people at $10 an hour, but I make sure nobody asks what they getting paid. No, they don't talk amongst each other about what their wages are, Slowly but surely, I fire everybody that was getting paid $20 an hour, and now I got a whole crew of people getting paid $10 an hour, and nobody knew the difference. Like, yo, we was paying somebody beforehand $20 to do this, but now the company, we didn't lucked up, and now we didn't cut our staff, and we got the same amount of staff, but we cut our salary, what we paying out a salary down, in half, So, that's why information is very powerful. Just even knowing the smallest thing like that, If Esau trying to kill off every damn body, then, you know how to combat against yourself. You don't understand about why they coming out with GMOs and all this extra shit like that, But nevertheless, going into the rest of these movies, it says the Terminator, we've not allowed the existence of drone warfare. Yeah, and again with this beast system, everything's about to go into the internet. Everything gonna be robotic, automated, self-driving cars, drones. You're gonna have smart everything, house smart TV, smart grids, smart cities, smart every damn thing. All right, it's pretty much a bunch of damn drones and robots. All right, and it says, and if we would have listened to the Matrix, we would not have allowed the vast majority of humans to get lost in the virtual reality of spectacle and vapid nonsense. All right, so getting into these video games with virtual reality worlds and stuff like that, man, people enjoy those things. What do? First of all, you create a environment that's so hellish and just so bad and fucked up, just like how it is now already. All right, why do you think all these bars and clubs and shit like that sell the fuck out every weekend? Because throughout the whole week, everybody's being oppressed and all kind of this and that, right? So by the weekend, they need a release. They need to go out and go have them some fun, right? So that's why these clubs wind up selling out. The alcohol sell out because people want to so-called go out and relax and unwind after a rough week, But now what if, especially how the world's going, the environment and everything getting all fucked up. Everything getting fucked up is, so-called terrorists running around everywhere. The love of many is waxing cold. You got all kind of crazy shit popping off, If you don't want to go out into the so-called scary world and you don't have you have a universal income, so you don't really have to go to work. Everybody's getting paid, You got all these robots actually doing all the work, and they basically trying to slow kill your ass off. They can't just shoot you in the face, everybody, But so they're gonna just slowly kill your ass off, but it's gonna take some time, But you living in your damn hellish life or whatever, whatnot, but you in the way. Just like in prison, If you in those those people that's in prison, for a long ass time, life and shit like that. When they know they got life, those type of people that'll decide, yo, we're going to try to go make a break for it, go try to make a run, They start planning and plotting because they know they ain't getting out, They realize how shitty their situation is, But now you take a person that was living a shitty fucking life. They was always down on luck in life, you know, and you threw them in jail, but you gave them a virtual reality set, you know. Now they think that, you know, they don't even need to leave the jail cell. You know, they put this here headset on now in their virtual reality or this augmented reality. They in a big ass mansion on a damn island of paradise full of women, full of money, gold, all kind of shit, you know. They can go and interact with other people across the internet or robots across the internet, you know. Also with sex robots and shit like that, you know. With everything all destroyed, your husband and wives, and they all destroyed. So what? We get sex robots, so we can just deal with this, you know. Giving you a virtual reality world. Your life is shitty, so you create a facade on what? Facebook and all these other little social media sites, you know. You already pretty much doing this, but it's going to get to a point to where, hey, they're going to just basically lock you in a room and give you that headset, you know. Or just like the Matrix, you know. You seen in the Matrix what the real world looked like. It was all broke down and desolate, you know. But when they sat down in that chair and they plugged you into that virtual reality, all right, you was in a beautiful place, all right. And you could change and manipulate all kind of things to your liking, all right. And so, you know, it's funny how they was going into like, yo, these movies show you everything, you know. Yeah, Esau, you know, the devil puts all his plans and everything out there, but you got to be diligent and looking and watching it at all these things, you know. Just like the Most High. Everything that we need to know is all in the scriptures, you know. But what? You got to actually do your due diligence. First of all, you have to have the spirit on you, but you have to do your due diligence and do your research and do your reading and stuff like that. If not, it's not going to just jump out of the scriptures and then hit you in the face with it, you know. You have to actually look into it. But most people are what? Distracted by the bullshit going on. They're not even looking into these things. They don't even see that the system's coming up around you, you know. It says, there was basically a media blackout while Obama was president. You could count on one hand the number of mainstream media reports on the Pentagon's daily bombing campaign under Obama. Even when the media did mention it, the underlying sentiment was, yeah, but look at how suave Obama is while he's okaying endless destruction. He's like the Steve McQueen of aerial death, you know, and really, you know, that's how Barack Obama really was, you know. After George Bush, you know, people came in with Bush came in, you know, they liked him. He was so-called intelligent and so on and so forth, you know. Then the September 11th happened. Then he got all patriotic and everybody was all gung-ho over that shit, you know. But then by the end of his presidency, everybody was like, yo, this nigga is dumb as hell, making all these dumbass statements like, well, what are you going to do about Katrina? We're going to find her, bring her to justice. You know, shit like that, man. People like, this guy is super dumb, can't talk always. He just fucked up and all he doing is bombing every damn body, you know. Which set the perfect stage for Obama to just slide his little way off in there, you know. And then Obama doing the same shit, but he more or less a wolf in sheep's clothing, you know. And so he over here just, you know, smiling and carrying on with his, you know, eloquent speech and everything like that. So people just all in awe about him. They don't really realize what the hell he's doing, you know. And let's take a moment to wipe away the idea our advanced weaponry only hits the bad guys. As David DeGraw puts it, according to the CIA's own document, the people on the kill list who were targeted by death by drone accounted for only 2% of deaths caused by drone strikes. All right, 2%. Really, Pentagon? You got a 2 on the test. You get 5 points for just spelling your name right. All right, the sarcasm there. Why? Because they just brought out some heavy ass shit here. It says the Pentagon basically admits, you know, that out of the people that they actually target, you know, the ones they decide, yeah, we're going to go out here and kill these motherfuckers because they so-called bad guys, right? They only hit 2% of their targets and only accomplish 2% of their missions, all right? Meaning that they failed 98% of the time, all right? Now, when they fail 98% of the time, it's not like you trying to bomb one dude out in the middle of the desert and you miss by a long shot and you just blow up a bunch of dirt. No, you bombing in highly, you know, heavily dense areas, you know, where people are at, you know, and all these people are just casualties, men, women, children, and so on and so forth, you know, non-militants, non-combatants, you know, unarmed people, all right? And you as a regular human being, if you paid 100% for something of its value and you only got back 2% of it, you know, you wouldn't be happy with that, you know. You order a pizza, you know, you pay 100% of the value and you only get 2% of your pizza when it gets to you, you're not gonna pay for that, you know. You pay to rent a hotel room or a car, or you buy a house, but you only have access to 2% of that area. You're gonna be upset with it, you know. You're gonna be like, all right, well, you just bought this new car, but you can only use the one headlight. Like, well, what the fuck is the point of, you know, me owning a car if I can't drive this motherfucker? I don't need just one headlight, motherfucker. Like, and I can't even move it, you know. So if anything, you wouldn't get down with no 2% success rate and a 98% fail rate, you know. you on a damn team and we ask you to, you know, make these shots and you only, or a job, you know, you can only complete 2% of your job and you fail 98% of the time, you gonna be like, nah, you know? So again, you thinking in a rational world, but this ain't no rational world, man. We in hell in Babylon the Great under the damn devil's rulership, you know? This is what they going out there just killing indiscriminately, and yet nobody's saying nothing about this. It's like, yo, you could just talk about the 98%, you know, or the so-called 2% of accuracy and your 98% of failure, you know? It says, but of those 70,000 bombs dropped by Bush, it was child's play to draw again. Obama dropped 100,000 bombs in 7 countries. He outbombed Bush by 30,000 bombs in 2 countries. You have to admit that's impressively horrific. That puts Obama in a very elite group of Nobel Peace Prize winners who have killed that many innocent civilians. The reunions are mainly just him and Henry Kissinger wearing their little hand-drawn name tags and munching on deviled eggs. Again, the sarcasm here, but you know, the Nobel Peace Prize, you know, a peace prize, but yet this guy is out here for death and destruction, Barack Obama, you know? And then it's just basically like 2 of them in their little reunions, like, yeah, but these fucking Edomites, anybody else that's not under the Edomite rulership or Edomite, yo, they would be off with their head with that shit, you know? Look what they doing to so-called Bashar al-Assad under just the pretext that he gassing his own people, when America's actually doing that. America and their allies is actually doing that, but yet, even under the so-called slander of that, they trying to go out there and take him out, you know? And it says, the reunions are mainly just him and Henry Kissinger wearing their little hand-drawn name tags and munching on what? Deviled eggs. You know, the sarcasm. But this is an article, not the first, but the third time I tried recording this, you know, I was touching in on a lot of this, reading between the lines. A lot of the scriptures actually written inside of all of this stuff here, you know. But it says, you know, here's one of the little innuendos right here. It says they munching on deviled eggs, you know. Why? Who are these people? These people are what? The Edomites, all right? They're the seeds of Esau, all right? The seeds, who is Esau? Esau's the wicked, the damn devil, all right? So if they have kids, they the descendants of who? The damn devil. These niggas is, like I said, eating on deviled eggs. Yeah, why? Because they deviled eggs. That's who the fuck these people are, you know? However, we know that Donald Trump's administration put all previous presidents to shame, all right? So George Bush came out like a damn deranged maniac, you know, going hard in the paint, you know, just shutting shit down, you know. He came through and just really just opened up a can of whoop ass, some shit nobody ain't never seen in their life before. Like, damn, brother, the damn devil came down and just like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Then Barack Obama came through that bitch, but then he was more like sweet talking and all soft talking and this and that, but he did a lot of destruction, way more destruction than Bush did too, you know. He made Bush shit look like child's play, you know. But then now we about to get on this Donald Trump character, man. You can combine both of them together and them niggas ain't even in the park. All right. It says, however, we now know that Donald Trump's administration puts all previous presidents to shame. The Pentagon's numbers show that during George Bush's 8 years, he averaged 24 bombs per day, which is 8,750 per year. It's like a bomb every hour, 24 hours a day, every day. All right. Over the course of Obama's time in office, his military dropped 34 bombs a day, 12,500 per year. All right. And in Trump's first year in office, he averaged 121 bombs dropped per day for an annual total of 44,096. All right. Trump's military dropped 44,000 bombs in just the first year. So shit, man, you add, this 24 and 34, which is Obama and Bush's bombs dropped per day. That leaves you, what, 58 bombs a day? All right. That's 16. Even if you add both of these guys' bombs together, you know, if you add Bush and Obama's daily bombing together and then double that number, you still less than what the hell Trump's got going on. You see what I'm saying? So like they was going out playing hard in the paint, but Trump was like, yo, hard in the paint. Motherfucker, we brought the paint truck. You know what I'm saying? We finna paint the whole city red. You know what I'm saying? The whole planet red, basically. It says he's basically taking the gloves off the Pentagon and the leash off an already rabid dog. So the end result is the military is behaving like Lil Wayne crossed with Conor McGregor. You look away for 1 minute, look back and like, what the fuck did you just do? I was gone for like a second, all right? You know, using a little sarcasm there, but what? You looking at these people, Lil Wayne, if you was to sit there and critique these people on you know, how they act. You know, Lil Wayne is more or less like a grown-ass man, but really the mind of a child, irresponsible like a child, doing a bunch of childish-ass shit, you know? doing all kind of just irresponsible shit as an adult, not even really taking life serious as an adult, especially in the eyes of a lot of young people who you leading, you know, just leading them to destruction. You don't really give a damn. You causing more destruction than helping, you know. And so it's just the same way. It's like a little kid, you know. You leave a little kid in an all-white house with a big-ass bowl of spaghetti sauce, you know what I'm saying, for 2 seconds, what you think is going to happen, man? Whole house finna be red. They going to just run through that shit. Same way with America, man. It's like you don't watch the news for a damn day or something, and you be like, yo, what the fuck happened over there, man? America just cut loose, man. This is how it is, you know? It says, under Trump, 5 bombs are dropped every hour. 5 bombs dropped every hour of the day. That averages to a bomb every 12 minutes. So just comprehending this shit, let's just say you drop 1 bomb every day. You see what I'm saying? For like 8 years. Like, yo, we bombed y'all once every day for 8 years. That's a lot of bombing. But homeboy saying, look, they dropped 5 bombs per hour. All right? They dropped 5 bombs per hour, every day. 24 hours a day, constantly, nonstop. That averages out to 12 a bomb every 12 minutes. And which is more outrageous and crazy, the amount of death and destruction we're creating around the world. All right, like I was saying, how this is filled with a lot of basically scriptures in you know, basically in the cut. Basically, it's like and which is more outrageous, the crazy amount of death and destruction we are creating around the world. Like the scriptures say, and death and hell followed, or he enlarges neither he is a proud man and neither keepeth at home. He enlarges his desire as hell. All right, and that red horse that was given that great sword, and the pale horse, which was to take peace from the earth and to kill all these damn people. You know what I'm saying? Who you think this is talking about? This is talking about Esau. All right, the damn devil, the so-called white man. You know. It says, and what's more outrageous, the crazy amount of death and destruction we are creating around the world, or the fact that the mainstream corporate media basically never investigates it. All right. They talk about Trump's flaws. They say he's a racist, a bulbous-headed, and self-centered idiot, which is totally accurate. But they don't criticize the perpetual Amityville massacre our military perpetuates by dropping a bomb every 12 minutes. Most of them killing 98% of non-targets. All right, you're not just missing 98% of the time in the middle of the desert. When you missing 98% of the time, you killing way more people than you trying to, like, all right, we got this one dude we trying to kill. He in this here building somewhere, like a hospital. You want to kill all the people in the whole hospital just for hopes to try to kill this one person, and what you still miss because he wasn't really in there. All right. And they ain't even really checking on these bodies or who they're killing. It says, when you have a Department of War with a completely unaccountable budget, as we saw, the 21 trillion, and you have a president with no interest in overseeing how much death the Department of War is responsible for, then you end up dropping so many bombs that the Pentagon has reported we're running out of bombs. That's a sad case, bro. Like, when you ain't got no control or no oversight of what's going on, you just bombing indiscriminately, you run into a problem like running out of bombs. Like, that's a problem that you shouldn't have, because you shouldn't be bombing that fucking much, for one. You see what I'm saying? I can understand if you want these small ass countries, you know what I'm saying, with like 8 nuclear bombs or some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And you launch all them bitches all at once, or you test them all, like, hey, well, we all out. You know, we ain't really got the technology. We bought these shits. We didn't build these shits. But America builds all these bombs, you know. This is what they make money off of, you know. This is how these elites get more and more money. They're getting money off of killing these people, you know. Lockheed Martin, Rand, Raytheon, damn, I can't think of those other companies, Boeing and stuff like that. Those companies like that, they create all this military technology and bombs and stuff like that. The stock prices of those, look on the stock market, look up the stock price of them shits. Every time they go and bombing, stock prices go up. They making money off of that, all right? If just think about this, if there was world peace on the planet Earth, right? Let's say everybody came together right here, right now, we had world peace, and we could do it with all militaries in the whole world. We would never have another war again. Think about how much money that these fucking elites would be losing out, that they making off of these, you know, every bomb that they dropping. You know, they would be losing a lot of fucking money. So what? They need these damn bombs and shit to keep going off. And another thing with these bombs going off, they blow up what? Infrastructure, old infrastructure, and they go back over there and get a contract, which is paying their companies like KBR and Halliburton to go back over there and rebuild all these infrastructures, which they wind up owning the rights to their resources. All right. So at the end of the day, Esau making money off of destroying your country with the bombs, making money off of contracting to rebuild your damn country, then making money off of taxing your ass because he's running the damn, basically the natural resources, you know? It says, oh dear God, if we run out of bombs, then how will we stop all those innocent civilians from farming? Think of all the goats that will be allowed to go about their day. All right, that's the sarcasm. Like if we stop bombing these motherfuckers, what will go wrong if we stop killing these motherfuckers over there? Nothing. Actually, a lot of good shit would happen if we didn't do that. We would save money, the infrastructure. We wouldn't be in debt and shit like that. You wouldn't have all these people hating on us. Stuff like that. It says, and with the 21 trillion, the theme seems to be unaccountable. Journalist Whitney Webb wrote in February, shockingly, more than 80% of those killed have never even been identified by the CIA's own documents have shown that they are not aware of who they are killing, avoiding the issue of reporting civilian deaths simply by naming all those in strike zones as enemy combatants. All right, so they just letting you know flat out, look, the CIA ain't keeping track of who they killing. They just bombing indiscriminately. They killing any and every damn body. They not like, so-called identifying certain targets and taking out their target. They just killing any and every damn body, They're not even checking bodies and taking numbers, real numbers, They just estimating. All right, so the numbers we reading is pretty much way low counts, Because the world was like, damn, nigga, y'all went over there and killed 1 million people by accident. You know what I'm saying? They ain't have shit to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? People will be in outrage, all right? It says that's right. We only kill enemy combatants. And look at the slandering word of him. Homeboy says enemy combatants. All right. How do we know they're enemy combatants? Well, because they're in our strike zone. Well, how do we know it's a strike zone? Because there were enemy combatants there. All right. So this is like saying, listen, what makes an enemy combatant? Somebody that's in the damn war zone we trying to bomb. Well, what makes that a war zone that you're trying to bomb? The people that's there. All right. Well, wait a minute. Did the people make the area bad, or did the area make the people bad? You see what I'm saying? Like, the area didn't do shit, you know what I'm saying? And the people didn't do shit but be in the area. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, all you're doing is killing people indiscriminately, And this is how Esau get down. It says, how did you find out they were enemy combatants? Because they were in the strike zone. It says, oh, hold on. How did you know that it was a strike zone? Hold on. That's right. We only kill enemy combatants. How do you know they were enemy combatants? Because they were in our strike zone. How do we know it was a strike zone? Because there were enemy combatants there. Well, how did you find out they were enemy combatants? Because they were in a strike zone. Want me to keep going, or do you get the point? I have all day. All right. So it says, this is not about Trump, even though he's a maniac. Not about Obama, even though he's a war criminal. It's not about Bush, even though he has an intelligence of boiled cabbage. I haven't told a Bush joke in about 8 years. Felt kind of good. Maybe I'll get back to that. This is about the runaway military complex. So first of all, this ain't about one single person. All right, this ain't about Donald Trump. I hate when people be like blaming shit on Bush, Trump, Obama. I'm like, look, if y'all arguing about that shit, and Democrats, Republicans, and all, if y'all arguing about that, you really don't see the bigger picture, man. That's some small scale ass shit, man. You worried about the wrong shit, bruh. You need to look at the bigger fish, because once they get up out of office, bruh, it's like this. We got two opposing gangs, right? I'm the boss of one gang, you the boss of the other gang. And we got beef. You gonna send your shooters at me, and I'm gonna send my shooters at you. But instead of you sending your shooters at me, you just sending your shooters at my shooters. I'm like, well, you kill them off, I just got more shooters, bro. It's gonna keep going. The way to stop the problem is to take the head off. All right? But you ain't trying to deal with it that way, But it says, this is about the runaway military complex that's ruling our elite. That our ruling elite are more than happy to let loose. All right. So again, this ain't about no one single person here, one single person there. It's about these elites. All right. These damn Edomites, the damn devil in his system, his agenda that he got going on. All right. It's something way bigger than Barack Obama, George Bush, Donald Trump. It's way bigger than all them. These people are just puppets and vessels, just like us, man. I'm out here pushing the word for Yahweh Shem Yahushua. This ain't my word. These ain't my prophecies. This ain't what I'm coming up with out of my own head. If the Most High decide to take me up out this truth, he got somebody else that can replace my ass. It ain't gonna stop none of his plans. All right. So same way with Esau. Donald Trump and all they just a face for you to see. Just like us, we just mouthpieces for you, for the Most High's word to go out for you to be able to, you know what I'm saying, to hear it like that. It says, almost no one in Congress or the president tries to restrain our 121 bombs dropped a day. Almost no one in the mainstream outlet tries to get people to care about this. Recently, the hashtag 21 trillion for unaccounted Pentagon money has gained some traction. Let's get another one started. let's get another one started. 121 bombs a day, one every 12 minutes. Do you know where they're hitting, who they're murdering, why? 121 bombs a day rip apart lives of families a world away, and your name and my name and the name of the kid dueling out the wrong size of popcorn at the movie theater. All right, so that's a question. Like, yo, do you know who we hitting, who we murdering, who we killing, who we fucking up? You know what I'm saying? You don't know who we doing any of this to. You just like, well, fuck them, they all terrorists. But you don't know that. You don't know nothing about these people. This little like 2-year-old Abdullah, who over here coloring, you know, whatever the fuck he coloring, and just, you know, get bombed and shit, you know? And Esau don't give a damn. Not even really Esau, he the damn devil. But you regular people who say you so godly and this and that, so righteous, ain't none of y'all saying nothing about this, you know? Says we are a rogue nation with the rogue military, completely unaccountable, and a completely unaccountable ruling elite. All right, and what is he saying through the scripture? Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth, for the devil has come down to you having great wrath. You know what I'm saying? Says the government and the military you and I support by being a part of this society are murdering people every 12 minutes. In response, there is nothing but a ghostly silence. All right, so you know, you support this damn government. You supporting massive terrorism, all right? Global terrorism, all right? Paying your taxes, voting for these goddamn presidents, not standing up and talking and saying nothing about this stuff, all right? Saying support our troops, letting your kids go off to the military. All this is supporting these damn global terrorists, these global devils, all right? It says, it's beneath us as a people and species to give this topic nothing but silence. It is a crime against humanity. Yeah, it's a crime against humanity. And just, bro, what kind of human being do you got to be to just let this shit go on and you just don't give a fuck? You more worried about, bro, this nigga gave me the wrong size popcorn than the fact that you feel wronged because you got the wrong size popcorn, something they could fix right then and there, you know? But you don't feel like that somebody else should be feeling wrong for being bombed in their damn bed, being accused of a goddamn terrorist and hating America when the motherfucker's too young to even know what the hell America is. You know what I'm saying? Or too broke and too worried about just paying their regular bills and shit. Just like me, you, him, and her here in America. We too damn broke and destroyed and desolate to be worried about plotting and waging war against the citizens of North Korea or Russia. I'm like, bruh, if I even had the money to be able to fly over there to Russia and shit like that, bruh, I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be doing something way better with my time and money than that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got, in our lives, the me, you, him, and hers, and nobodies, we got way bigger shit to worry about than that, you know? And they ain't worried about this shit over here. So all these people over here talking about these people are crazy. They hate us for our liberty, our freedom, you know, because we're a free country. They hate us for our freedoms. You know, that's the biggest lie of bullshit, you know. What are you free from here in America? You got to pay taxes. You got to get a passport to leave, permission to do all the kind of crazy shit, you know. You can't even barbecue on the outside because of barbecue smoke, which is food. You know what I'm saying? How we would normally naturally cook it back in the old days before we had stoves and shit. Everybody was cooking outdoor. But if your barbecue smoke go over the fence line and your neighbors can smell it, you being outdoors, them being outdoors, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you can't even do all that, you know? But you know, this is the damn hypocrites here in America. You know, they worry about the wrong shit instead of the major wickedness that they doing around the planet Earth, you know? But I'm going to go ahead and close out with this. Lord willing, this lesson wasn't too long, or this video wasn't too long, and that, you know, you were edified by it. And, you know, for those who can't see who the damn devil is or who's in debate, you know, why y'all always call the white man the devil? And not all white people are wicked, not all this and that. Like, well, look, yes, only so-called Donald Trump and his cabinet and the military and the government is the ones actually doing this, and the military folks doing this. But at the same time, like this article say, Trump's military drops a bomb every 12 minutes. All right, yeah, that's the government and so on and so forth, the elites. But as far as the rest of you goddamn Americans and you heathen and everybody else, it says, and nobody's talking about it. All right, the regular me, him, her, and John over there. Any of us can get on YouTube or the YouTube channel. I mean, there's a lot of people who do stuff like this and bring out these atrocities, you know, because they got all this fake news and fake media and stuff like that. Man, we all got phones. It don't take you nothing. I'm on my regular cell phone right now with my regular internet I always got. Just looked up this here article, you know what I'm saying, and recorded through my phone, and I'm gonna upload it for free on YouTube, you know, spread it to the world, putting this here news out, you know. But yet that's really how these damn devils is getting down. And the rest of these damn 2/3 of our people is getting down, and the rest of the heathens, you know, they just pacifying all this like it ain't nothing going on, you know. But in that time when the Lord come to bring the destruction down, you're gonna be begging and wishing somebody have mercy on you, but you don't give a fuck about everybody else dying. You didn't try to speak up for them and ask for mercy for them. So when it's time for you to be getting your judgment, who you think is going you know, protect you or cry out for you? You know what I'm saying? Nobody. Alright? Because you don't give a fuck about the rest of the world. Ain't nobody gonna give a fuck about you, your child, your wife, your grandmama, none of that shit. When they in their house, when your grandmama on her dialysis in the nursing home, and she too fucking fat to be moving and shit, and a bomb go off and blow her ass to smithereens and shit like that, or your little kids off in daycare and shit, and a bomb come down and blow your fucking kids' brains to smithereens, you know, you gotta go into daycare and try to distinguish if this is your child's brains mixed with that child's brains or another motherfucker's brains. You're gonna be distinguishing that. Talking some, we need help. We need the other country. No, ain't nobody gonna give a fuck about that. Because you over here bombing the whole rest of the world, like they already fucked up and you killed them all off. So who you think is gonna be around to cry out for you, man? You see what I'm saying? This is why people say you stupid Americans, you dumb Americans, deaf to America. It's because of your actions or your lack of actions. Yeah, the government and them is the ones that's actually acting on this, but the rest of you fucking peons is your lack of actions. You see what I'm saying? That your lack of actions is not standing up to this, all right? You allow this shit to go on. The only thing you worried about is Trump making America great again, which means more money in your pocket and less work for you fucking Edomites, all right? But nevertheless, you ain't worried about making the rest of the world great again or making everybody else's lives great again, you know, because everybody's oppressed, you know? But nevertheless, Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you. I can push this truth and sincerity in the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. Stay strong. Shalom.